So, hello, welcome. Uh, we join you again 1 week later. You might want to turn that off. Release the volume. All right. I'm Vince.
And I'm Emmanuel, and welcome to the second episode of Branch Out. We have a couple what we think are interesting topics we're going to be discussing today. As the title suggests, we are going to be talking about some awesome people in Canada and maybe the implications around the world. That's the Truckers Convoy 2022. And besides that, we're also going to have a chat about what's been going on lately with Joe Rogan, Mr. Joe Rogan, Mr. Rogan.
Jogan,
the author of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. I think probably one of the most widely watched and read of podcasts currently. But before we get into all that, how was your week?
My week, pretty good actually. Started it out pretty slow because I still had some sick days after my dental work, but yeah, went to work yesterday. It was a good solid day.
Yeah.
What about you?
Wow, busy week. Let's see. I mean, last week, my entire family got sick with the flu. The flu.
Yeah, we noticed that in last week's stream.
Yeah.
Not that much. On the phone, you were like a little bit. You sounded under the weather, but then when you were here, it was much less noticeable.
There.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're back. We're back in the studio this time.
That's right. This is the first episode that we're making where we're actually both here.
Right. This is actually a momentous occasion.
Momentous is the word.
Momentous.
We were sick, the entire family. It started with the youngest one, and it quite quickly went to my wife, Serena, and then went to our older daughter, then our older son. Before our older son, I got it, and then it went to him. So.
And how are they doing now?
Oh, they're fine. I mean that's one thing that I noticed for sure is that the kids. I mean, this thing. It was obvious that we were all getting the same thing. I'm 99% sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids were down for maybe a day and a half, maybe 2 days, and then for us parents, it was. I think I was down for about 3 days. I mean, not like flat on my back or anything. I was still mucking about. But definitely feeling pretty ill for about 3 days. And still, right now, I'm not 100%. But I went running today. And a couple days ago, I was doing workout. Not 100% workout, maybe like 80% to 85%. But I think that's part of recovery too, is that one doesn't just
go from 0 to 100% again. Kind of have to wing yourself back on. Yeah.
But also that one doesn't just sort of lay back because the thing, at least for me, is too much laying down, and I start feeling worse.
Right.
It's like at some point, get up, get some fresh air, get active, and of course you got to know your limits.
Yeah.
But I could definitely tell that for the grown-ups, we had a harder time of it, and it's taking us a bit longer to recover. But
what do you think it was? Go on.
It was moronic.
It was moronic that you got sick.
It was absolutely moronic that we got sick.
What did you do? Were you like in with the lepers?
No, it's just. I mean that was our annual flu, and
Yeah.
it was funny because like a couple days ago I was thinking, I wonder if this is what they call long COVID, you know?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No.
Well, I don't know. You know, a lot of
I mean,
people.
maybe some people would call that long COVID, but I don't think that, like, when you define long COVID, that's what you had. Because it seems like you were just chilling.
No. Yeah.
For the most
I
part.
mean, like, still. So today is probably a week and a half since I started feeling it under the weather.
Yeah, but you're pretty much back to 100% now. Not
Yeah, I
quite,
know.
but
I know. But that's the thing about long COVID is that if you look at the definition, quote unquote, of what long COVID is, The Guardian put out an article like a couple months ago talking about the symptoms of long COVID.
Yeah.
And they, you know, throughout the article, they were sort of going along about, okay, this and that and that and this. And then at a certain point, they were like, yeah, there are actually like over 200 symptoms of long COVID. At which point it's becoming a bit like,
So what's not a symptom?
That's kind of the bothersome question.
Impending doom.
Like if your head falls off, then that's probably not a long COVID issue.
It depends.
And even then.
It depends.
So no, that
If you
that,
test positive and your head fell off, then it was
that was definitely because of whatever you tested positive.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. This is true. This is all true. Facts and stuff. Yeah, but we're getting better.
Yep.
My daughter went in for surgery as well.
Right. Yeah.
She's back home. She was just there for one day. She had a ski accident. What was it now? Almost 2 years ago.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years ago, she broke her arm, and it didn't quite mend like it was supposed to. So day before yesterday, she went in. It was quite a crazy. I mean, for a good Swiss hospital, which I think this hospital was, there were some things that happened which really made one sort of like, wait a minute, am I in Switzerland?
Like what?
They after they had taken her to the anesthesiologist, right? Basically, you say goodbye or no, see you later.
Another one.
Serena got a call from the doctor, from the surgeon, just wondering if they were supposed to. So what they had to do was they had to remove all the material in her in that part that broke.
Yeah.
They had to remove all the material, which was sort of like bone cyst material, which was stopping it from healing. And the idea is then that they put a block of bone inside of the gap.
Yeah.
And then essentially put a plate, some screws, and that's actually gonna basically they
That
clean
should take
it
care
out
of it now.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the question was, where do you get that bone from? That little piece of bone.
Okay.
There's an option to either use a piece of bone from your own body.
Yeah.
So they said usually they take it from the hip bone.
Yep.
Or to go into the pantry, essentially the hospital pantry, and take a piece of bone. So we went back and forth a bit when we had the consultation with the specialist. And at the end, I had just asked him, what do you recommend? And he said that you take it from the pantry.
Yeah.
Because
then you have one surgery instead of two.
That, and also there is no guarantee that your hip bone, the piece that they take out, will completely grow back.
Right.
So, and he said at her age, they count her as an adult, so 16 years of age. At that point, your body has pretty much grown, like the vast majority of it. And and the the reality is that very likely she will continue to have discomfort to some degree, possibly pain, discomfort for
Yeah.
the rest of her life
If she took it from her hip.
if she took it from her hip.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Pantry all the way.
So, and I asked him, well, okay, so if we take it from the pantry, is there any possibility that her body will reject the bone? Because that's,
Mm.
putting a foreign material inside. And he assured me that it was a very strict and stringent way that they prepare these bones and everything. So that seemed, and then at the end he said, yeah, I would recommend taking it from the pantry. So he didn't use the word pantry, but
Yeah, of course not.
it's where they got the oregano and
Pantry's getting empty.
yeah.
Gotta go for a run.
Yeah, but no, she's home. She's
doing well.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, she just has a bandage on her arm. She
Mm.
doesn't have any cast, nothing, just a little sling thing they gave her, and that's it.
So foreseeably now, how long is she gonna be out of commission, or at least how long does she have to wait until she's 100% again?
100% between 3 and 6 months.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
actually, that's not too bad,
That's not
considering how
bad.
long she's
Yeah.
been waiting until
Yeah.
now.
I mean, that's 100%.
Yeah.
Within a month or so, she should already be able to pick up objects
Yep.
and stuff. Like she can already move her arm and whatnot because
Yep.
of that metal plate in there. That makes all the difference.
Mm.
Once you got that metal plate, it's kind of like a bone,
Yeah.
more or less. So
Yeah.
and then and then a year from now she'll have that metal plate removed, and then
Well, that's great news.
hopefully she can then ski again. She really
Now,
wants to.
two of you guys already have metal plates. Had metal plates put in.
Well, Serena had one, but it's been taken out.
Yeah.
And
So now
it's actually pretty hefty. It's a pretty hefty piece of
Yeah.
metal. I was surprised. And it's really, like, I didn't put an immense amount of force on it, but it's thick, and it's pretty weighty,
Mm-hmm.
and it really doesn't bend.
No.
I mean, I didn't give it my 100% strength, but I was expecting something a bit more flimsy, but it's pretty...
Well, it's a good thing it doesn't flex. I mean, that's the
yeah,
point, right?
That's the point.
Yeah, and tomorrow morning I get my stitches out. So then,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, then I should be more or less on my way there. But yeah, for the moment now, since I'm still in the healing phase, I shouldn't be smoking, even though I have been cheating a little bit with my vape pen.
Wow.
Yeah, and not drinking alcohol.
Okay.
Which is why we chose today to test out alcohol-free solutions.
Yeah, this is
Alcohol-free
very cringe
solutions.
for me. All right, you better get that stuff out.
Cringe for you.
You know, if anyone knows me, drinking alcohol-free
they're cold,
beer-
so you don't have to taste them.
What?
They're coldish.
Oh no, it's even worse. Okay, I like beer, as in real beer, the one that has alcohol, and I don't like it cold. I like it.
Yeah, he likes it around.
I actually like it room
40 to 60 degrees.
room temperature. I can taste
Room
it
temperature in Somalia.
better. All right, let's do it.
All right, so actually I don't really think these are all beers because I looked for different types of alcohol-free beer in Coop, and they had the
Okay, that's gonna be the best.
pale
one.
ale. Then just like the regular Feldschlössli, alcohol-free, and then they had whatever that is. I think that's
That
just
one.
like a lemonade.
That's
Panache. I've never had panache before, so
Isn't panache with lemon?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's beer.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it's beer and lemon. I think that's the idea.
okay, well,
right?
in this case, it's
a lemon
beer
beer.
flavored lemonade. It's some weird.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's this, which is basically just
All right. What do we start with?
from
From best to worst, or from worst to best?
Well, we don't know what's gonna be worse than best.
My bet's on this one.
Okay, so let's do that one last then.
Lola.
We can
beer.
take little gloops of them all.
IPA.
IPA, yeah. All right, so do we want to just start with the standard
Let's do that
alcohol-free one? All right, this is gonna go everywhere in it.
Glorified gnat's urine. That's what this is.
When was the last time you had alcohol-free beer?
I don't know.
You have
And
two
that's
hands.
a good thing.
All right.
All right. He's the master of ceremonies.
Actually, since it's so little, I don't have to pour it properly. All right.
Prost. That's why I don't like.
Yeah, it's flat beer. It just tastes like.
It's not only flat; it has no flavor. It's like old vinegar.
Is it just me, or is the aftertaste like sour?
Vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like old vinegar. I
Hey,
mean,
if you
in a
can't have
pinch.
alcohol, then
In a pinch.
yeah. I mean,
All right, that was nice.
you have to finish that.
Do I?
Yeah. You have to finish everything we pour because we only have 2 glasses.
All right, let's go with the lemon.
Okay. So, you want to go with the panache or the other
Oh
can?
my god, that's dreadful.
Oh come on! It's totally drinkable. It's not good beer. It's
No,
not beer.
I'd rather drink
It's
water.
not a good beer, but it's. Oh, you'd rather have water. Okay,
I'd
fair
rather
enough.
have water.
This is like ASMR. Oh, I should do this next to your microphone because mine has the filter on it.
Okay, that one's yours. All right.
So you
No.
like lemonade, don't you? Cheers.
That smells like lemons.
That's quite
Okay,
nice,
that's
actually.
much better.
I mean, I don't taste any beer.
No,
It's just like fizzy lemonade.
that's fine. With soap.
It's just because of the foam.
I know. It's foamy.
It's actually, you know what? I
Dishwater.
actually like it. I actually like it.
All right.
That one's a winner.
I'll have a bit more of that.
It's refreshing.
You want to try a different one already?
Yeah, we're going through them all, and then as we go
Oh.
on, and otherwise you're just gonna finish that one, and then you won't have
Alright,
room
fine.
for the panache.
Panache.
Panache. All right, okay, that's.
I'll do it like that.
Which one's whose?
That's yours.
All right,
The sound of that.
but put your mic next to it. Is that possible? I've...
Too fast. Blink. We're gonna be so drunk by the end of this.
That's quite sweet.
That's sweeter for sure. Smoother too.
It just tastes like sugar water.
The other one tastes a bit more like lemon.
Yeah, this in comparison, this is just
This
basically
is
sugar
almost
water.
like apple. Maybe it has something else in it. It's nice though.
I mean, it to me, it just I don't taste anything other than sweet. I guess there's a little bit of a tang there, sort of like a like a cidery prickle.
Maybe that's.
But flavor wise, I don't really get much.
Serena's correcting me. They called it the bone bank, not the pantry.
They called it the bone
They
bank.
call it the bone bank. I remember that now. Yeah, that's.
I mean, yeah,
They
that's an
gotta have
endearing
that.
way of calling the morgue.
No, it's an actual intestine bank, bone bank, heart and kidney
From the
and
morgue.
liver and
It's
everything
like
bank. Organ bank. They probably have an organ bank.
They like pull up the bodies and say, which one do you want? All right, we're going to the last and hopefully the best. The
Okay,
pale
Serena
ale.
is saying
India.
the best alcohol-free beer is Eichhoff Lager from Migros. I would believe that because Eichhoff is really good.
All right, well,
Is that the
unfortunately,
last? Okay.
we don't have any here, but
Was ich?
it's not a twist off. But
Teeth. Ooh. That's why you wear that ring.
yeah, so to prove my status.
Okay.
All right. That's a pretty good sound.
And after that, you're supposed to go.
All right, we'll do this one. All right. Cheers. That looks good.
Yeah, it's very nice color. Amber color.
It smells.
Whoa. Dude,
It smells like backyard.
what did you
It smells
do?
like moist backyard. I don't know. It's got some hoppiness
That's
in
some
there.
hectic fermentation there.
Okay. Well, it has flavor. I can't tell what you're thinking. I mean, to me, that's pretty good. It needs alcohol.
Burnt. Tastes burnt.
In comparison to the first one that we tried, it has flavor
I
at
said
least.
I'd rather drink water.
Yeah, but they...
This is very full of flavor. It's just the flavors.
Yeah, the flavor is not the best. It has some at least.
It's like ash.
No, it's got some. I mean, I don't know what kind of ash you're eating, but
Oh. That is terrible.
is it worse than the first one?
I think so.
Like
I couldn't
beers
drink
like
that.
this, they're not the first one I go for. Definitely not. I prefer like a normal Weizen beer or something like that.
I've never drank a beer that tastes like this.
Really,
No. What
Okay.
beer tastes like this?
IPA.
I don't drink IPA.
Yeah, they're like that.
All right. My favorite turns out not to be the one I thought would be my favorite.
This one's bitter aftertaste, which is what
Super bitter.
it's supposed to be though. Like they actually say here the bitter scale is 2 out of 3.
Okay.
So your
Well-
favorite one is probably not even a beer. It's probably the lemonade.
It's the panache.
Really, it's the panache. Freaking out, you can have the whole thing.
Yay.
Here, there's yours.
Spank you.
I'll have the that one actually. I didn't mind it.
All right. Let's get into it. Now that we've done this.
Brilliant.
thing. They actually look very similar. Look at that in color. Mine's a bit lighter.
Yeah.
right? But okay. So truckers, brum brum, drivers of trucks, truck drivers, lorry drivers.
Do you have the stream running on your laptop?
Which one now? This one.
Which one?
This.
The stream. If
No,
you
it's
wanna,
right
if you
there.
wanna answer questions and stuff,
Aha.
then you can have it on yours. Because I'm gonna be sharing from mine, so I can't really do
No
it.
worries.
Hold on, let me get my list here.
Okay, so truck drivers, Convoy.
It's a
I don't
thing.
know anyone out there if everyone's already heard about this thing. So apparently, a couple weeks ago, in actually, I think it started off the top of my head. Started something like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Mhm.
this is from my knowledge. I don't know. I can be fact check on this. um, a woman, a Canadian woman, started this idea of getting truckers down from all over Canada to come to Ottawa, to basically park outside the front of the Parliament House in Ottawa as a protest. Kind of started due to the injection or vaccine mandate for truckers.
Right.
And then it became about the sort of the mandates overall. Have you heard much about them?
I've heard about them a little bit, especially on YouTube. I've seen it. The mainstream media's coverage has been quite low, considering the magnitude of what it is. Which was, when I actually started looking into it, it was kind of surprising to me just how little it was being covered.
Right.
Especially from our local outlets. From SRF, I think they had 2 articles in total.
Oh, yeah?
On it, yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, the first one was like 5 days ago. So quite a lot after the thing actually took swing. And yeah, it was pretty short as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess it's happening in Canada.
it's also, yeah, it's true. It's happening in Canada. It's not the most relevant thing for us here in Switzerland. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'd been following it since about a week into their transit, the Convoy's transit. Now, there was more than one convoy headed from different locations in Canada, and apparently also from the US into Canada. But there was a main convoy that was the one where this woman, I forget her name.
Lich?
Yes.
I forgot her first name.
I forget her name. Yeah. She was driving in the Tamara Lich. That's correct.
Yep.
She was driving in the first truck. I forget the name of the truck driver, but I remember the name of the truck. The name of the truck is Big Red. And so yeah, she was driving in this truck and she was doing live streams, and the live streams were incredible that she was doing, just on her mobile phone, maybe for half an hour.
So she was in the convoy,
in the truck,
yeah,
as it's driving. A couple times the stream starts with Big Red pulling out of the parking where all these trucks are parked for the night, and they're driving along, and she said, oh no, the driver, they're communicating over CB radio the entire time. And it's very interesting how they communicate and organize themselves. That's one thing that I caught on to very early, is the incredible amount of organization that they had.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And, well, on the other hand, they are truck drivers driving in a convoy.
Right. Yeah,
it's not their
true.
first
I was thinking this earlier today, that for the amount of time that they've been doing this and the amount of people involved, obviously they don't have to coordinate with every single person in it, but the bulk of the truckers have to be coordinating with each other.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, like, how do they do that? But like you said, they're used to this, using their radios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were very fluid, changing routes and so on as they're going.
Yeah.
It was really cool, like watching this happen live, where they're just like, so I'll backtrack a bit. So they're driving along. They're what they call slow rolling, which is they were driving, I think it was about 40 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
40, 50. And in front of Big Red is a kind of convoy leader vehicle. So with the lights going and,
okay,
with yeah, it's kind of like a pickup truck with lights going and a kind of a sign on the back and a sign in the front. So, and then their truck, Big Red, and on the live stream, he says to her, the driver says to her, they're still coming out of the parking. And she's like, what? Like, they had been driving about 50 kilometers per hour for about 35 minutes, and there's still trucks filing out of the parking. That's how...
So there's like 25 kilometers worth of just this line.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's probably some other cars mixed in there, poor things.
Yeah.
Just getting pulled along.
Yeah. Not too many other cars that are not part of the convoy, but there were also a lot of, besides the trucks, there's also a bunch of pickup trucks and basically anything with on wheels is part of the can be.
They just become part of the convoy.
Yeah. they just get absorbed.
Yeah.
So the length and breadth of it, and I asked on the live chat, I was like, why are they driving so slow? Because then they were like, oh, we're gonna drive like 30. We're going down to 30.
Yeah.
And they said this is so that everyone can stay together, so no one gets left behind. And yeah, the communication was incredible as they reached a certain point, and there were two highways that were more or less in parallel. You couldn't see the other highway; it was too far away. But then the guy is communicating on CB radio, and he's like, "Hey, there's a whole bunch of vehicles that want to join the convoy, and there's people who are, standing on the side of the road with flags and stuff, and waving us on." And they're on this other highway. So basically what they did just within like 5 minutes or so is just communicate back and forth on the CB radios. Someone halfway through the convoy in another truck picks up the leadership for half the convoy to split off to the other highway. So they just
they split the convoy in half.
They split the convoy in half.
Huh.
And so that they could all those people waiting on the other highway, just so that they could also just be there, for them and,
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. This is... Canadians are
probably it's such a Canadian thing to do.
People in the world, hey?
I feel like that's not even just a stereotype. Like it's legit. True. It's legit. Yeah. Yeah.
So watching them rolling into Ottawa, and I was watching live as they were starting to come into Ottawa.
Yeah.
Parking all their big rigs and so on. And so this is just my impression of it, that as they were coming in, they were getting parked and everything, and then there was this news of Prime Minister Trudeau leaving the capital, and
right.
Did you see anything about that?
Yeah. I mean, I saw a couple of the press conferences that he did, some of the statements that he made, and then the news of him leaving the capital. Initially, he left the capital, and the reasoning that was given for that was because of security concerns. That was the main story. Okay. But it appears now that it's switched more to he got COVID and that's why he left. I don't know why you have to leave a city if you get COVID. But yeah. Initially they said because of security concerns, because the convoy moved into Ottawa.
Right.
Apparently one of the officials also said to members of the government there that they should lock the doors of their private homes.
Oh wow!
Because of security concerns. So yeah, there was definitely that narrative that there's serious threat of violence
from a fringe minority, right? From a
fringe minority. Yeah, I mean, well, are they a minority? Because if they're so few, then it shouldn't be an issue, right? I don't know.
So yeah, that's again something that if we go back like a week earlier, or even like 10 days earlier to them arriving in Ottawa, that is something that Justin Trudeau that was his remark about the truckers convoy.
Mm.
Was, oh no, that's just a fringe minority of people, nothing to bat an eyelid about. And then when they enter Ottawa, it's like,
now, it's not just like this many.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The reasoning that he had there was because 90% of Canadians are vaccinated.
Yeah.
Around about 90%.
Yeah.
So the initial theory was, okay, so all of these people in the convoy are part of the 10%.
Correct.
Which isn't true.
Yeah.
Most of them are vaccinated.
Yeah.
So that statistic of 10 to 90% has nothing to do with the convoy itself.
Yeah.
It's just people.
Yeah. It's crazy, like the ignorance. I don't know. A lot of times I'm looking at things that are happening in the world and people that are doing them, and the first thing that runs through my head is ignorance or malice. I don't know. A lot of times it's really a head scratcher. So regarding him leaving the capital, what I had heard initially is he has left the capital. He has left Ottawa, at least the downtown part, to an undisclosed location.
Yeah.
That was the big blurb. And then I heard people saying that he had left because he had tested positive for COVID and was quarantining.
Yeah, he and his family tested positive, apparently.
Well, so first I heard that he had tested positive and was quarantining. Then I heard he didn't test positive, but that his daughter did. And I read that.
Where did you read that?
In the CNBC or the Canadian press.
CNBC, man. Earlier today, I was reading articles from the man. That fucking news network.
That's the thing. The only thing that I actually read in mainstream media regarding who had a positive test was that his daughter had a positive test. That's the only thing. The other stuff I picked up on Twitter and in other places.
Yeah.
And that apparently Justin Trudeau's narrative was, I gotta go move my family out because my daughter tested for positive. She tested for positive. She tested positive for SARS-CoV-2.
Yeah.
And in case she needs to be taken to hospital, I have to leave, right? So I have to relocate my family in case she needs to be taken to hospital. And
okay, the only way that makes sense to me is if he's concerned that the streets would be blocked.
Yes. So I don't know the technical term of this. I don't know what it is, but let's just say you're going to come visit me in my house. Yeah. And before you come in, I quickly grab everything that is of value. So my wallet, my keys, all jewelry. Make sure, honey, take your rings off and hide them somewhere. Like we just hide everything that is of value and that is easily, pickpocketable.
Hey, I've never seen any rings or money lying around your place, so I wouldn't be surprised.
That's for my kids. But so the point is, what I'm doing is, even if I know that you are not someone who, like a kleptomaniac, right? Someone who just has to grab stuff that's not theirs. What I'm doing is acting as if you are.
Yeah.
And so the media is watching me and goes, oh, he must be a kleptomaniac because why else would his brother hide all his stuff? Right?
Like if someone was already visiting you and they see you like, oh, Vincent's coming. Oh, shit. Gotta take this money off the table.
And they would just infer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's a bit of a. Should I hide my phone too?
Exactly.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Right. And that is what I think. I don't know what the technical term is for doing that. I'm sure there is like a term for that. But
it is inciting something.
Maybe.
If it comes from the government, then that could even be called propaganda. No.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not overt, but
no. Yeah. It's kind of a passive narrative or passive something.
Yeah, it's definitely giving the impression that, like, if the PM of Canada is scared for his own safety, then no one is safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And his daughter, like,
Yeah.
so essentially to me what he's doing is telling the Canadian people that the truckers' convoy is run or organized or is populated by people who are so careless that they would basically come into the place and, number one, would not think about making sure that emergency vehicles can come in and out of wherever they are. And number two, if his daughter needed medical treatment and had to go to the hospital, that they would, I don't know, block the road to make a point, or, you know, like, not allow his daughter to get treatment.
Yeah.
And that to me is, it's just so disingenuous. I don't like. And the fact of the matter is, like, if anyone was following the convoy as they were transiting to Ottawa, they would have heard on the CB radio channels, which you can even just go to a website and listen to the channels.
Yeah.
They're constantly, the leaders of the convoy are constantly communicating, saying, do not take up all the lanes of the road. If there's a 2-lane, only take up 1 lane. Always leave a lane open for normal transit, emergency vehicles, and so on. Like, the whole way through. So that's my point about, was Justin Trudeau just ignorant, or is he doing this out of malice?
Yeah, that's something I haven't been entirely clear on, because yes, the convoy does consist of a lot of vehicles, but to what extent do they actually block things from happening? Because as the mainstream media is covering it, it seems like they basically gridlock huge portions of the city.
Yeah.
So just from seeing like images and videos from the situation, yeah, sometimes it does look like they're actually fully gridlocking areas, but it's difficult to ascertain just from someone's phone.
Yeah.
Just to what extent that they're actually blocking stuff.
Yeah. From what I can tell, also watching the live streams that are every single day, there's like, I don't know, 5 to 10 people live streaming for like 6 hours or so from Ottawa. The area immediately, like the road immediately at the Parliament House, that is pretty much just back-to-back lorries and vehicles of other types. But the crisscrossing road arteries that go sort of like alongside the Parliament building that connect whatever is on this side of the Parliament to stuff on the other side, those are open.
Okay.
So they'll even have like so there'll be like a line of trucks in front of the Parliament House going all the way along, and then there's a road crossing going that way, and they'll have like a vehicle maybe in the middle or something, but there's still space for vehicles to go around and get through.
Okay.
And I've seen so many times like ambulance vehicles, police vehicles, and so on, like getting through.
Right.
So
okay. So mainly there isn't actually a gridlock happening. There may be some roads that are cut off, but not the main ones.
On certain streets, it's pretty much that section of the street has just parked cars, lorries, and so on all along it. But these are also sections of Ottawa that are all around the Parliament House. So there's not a whole lot of business going on there, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like
right.
It's a big historic building, and well, they're waiting for Mr. Trudeau to come around.
Serena just said he on his Facebook page he said he was just a close contact.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably close contact to his daughter. Yeah. So they've been there. They've what's kind of been happening is that so first they were belittled by the Prime Minister. Then when they showed up to Ottawa, there was this time of in the first few days, nobody really knew what was going to happen because it was all just so new.
Yeah.
I guess some people were expecting there to be a bit more political movement to occur, either from Justin Trudeau or at least from the Conservative Party. And what happened instead is that there was silence. It was just like the whole political establishment essentially just went into freeze mode.
Yep.
No one knew what the hell to do. So that dragged on for a while, and I think what was happening there is that a lot of people in the political establishment were kind of seeing, it was almost like a game of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to give up first? Or who's going to, they didn't know really how long those truckers, because the truckers were saying, well, we're staying here until the mandates are dropped.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, sure, we'll see,
But I mean, they're truckers. They know how to live in the truck.
Yeah.
It's like
I saw photos, like they were making photo collages of showing like, okay, how life in a truck is, and it's like, wow. I mean,
it's not too shabby, is it?
Well,
depending on which truck, but
depending on the truck,
some of them, like they do well. They can like have a bed in there, and they've got like all the supplies that they need.
They definitely have it well organized, and they can exist in there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can tell, okay, these are people who enjoy the simpler things in life. They're kind of a bit more ruddy and hardy, and for them, I mean, so one of the big things was fuel. They needed to keep fuel coming in because another thing about Ottawa right now is that it's winter. Minus 30 degrees at night. So they got to keep things warm.
That's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. Because currently, I believe it's illegal for them to be supplied with fuel.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So the police chief, I saw him in a press conference saying that people who supply them with fuel would be charged with aiding and abetting. But if you look at it from that standpoint, that they need the fuel to stay warm, it's a pretty ruthless strategy. It's if they don't have the fuel to keep themselves warm, I mean, in those temperatures, you're dealing with life and death.
That's why people were also tweeting after that, what's next, food and water?
Yeah.
Because it's not a luxury in their case to have fuel to keep their engine running to fuel, the cabin. It's literally keeping them alive.
Even if you're not in favor of the truckers' convoy, like, this isn't the way to do it.
No.
It shouldn't be forcing them off the street by making them choose between minus 30 degrees and what they believe to be true. It's
a lot of these things. You see people who were, for example, very much in favor of riots and real violent protesting going on not too long ago by BLM and so on, who, sort of in their head, I guess what was going on is this by all means necessary. BAM, they call. And now you get the sense that a lot of those same people are looking at this protest with disgust and disdain and just these.
Were the people that participated in the rallies, or the ones that were looking at those?
I mean, the people who supported Black Lives Matter, the protesting, the rioting, and all that sort of stuff, or at least kind of put it to the side and said, yeah, well, that was happening, but the main thing of it, I still agree with. But then when it's these truckers basically literally just parked in a space right outside of Parliament Building, and what they're doing is cleaning the streets of Ottawa. I saw some videos of that. To what extent they're doing it, I'm not sure, but it seems, I mean, in true Canadian fashion, they. I mean, what else do you have to do, right? I mean, if you're there, you're like, well, there's a bunch of snow in the street, let's start at it.
Yeah.
I just watched a stream today, live stream, and a guy was just walking down the street, and he's like, "Hey, look at these terrorists," and they're there, you know.
Yeah.
He was joking, of course, but
Leave our beautiful trash.
well, they this snow there. I mean, you can imagine minus 20 degrees or so. You can imagine this snow is piled up, then pushed down into the into the sides of the roads, and it's almost like concrete. It's so frozen in place. And they're there with, of course, snow shovels, but they're also there with these like snow picks, just hacking at it, like clearing all the snow. And you see down the road, you see all this stuff that they've already done, and it's like, okay, they've been at that for hours.
Okay.
Okay. And it was like maybe about 10 guys or so, who were doing it. But they had been doing it for a long, long time.
Right.
And you can see the sidewalks and stuff have also been cleared. And people from Ottawa have also commented like, wow, I mean, the sidewalks have never been so easy to walk down, in those places. And then there's this whole thing about crime that apparently, according to, I don't know if it was someone in the higher ranking of police, but in a media article they said that the crime in Ottawa has, since the truckers have been there, has fallen by 90%, which is really interesting.
Wonder why that is.
Well,
if that statistic is true,
if it's true,
yeah,
it wouldn't be too difficult to believe, because, well, one thing about big cities is it's almost like the bigger the city, the more crime, right? It's just one of those things. And then you get all of these people coming in who are like, a trucker lifestyle is not a city slicker, right?
No.
A trucker is not a city person. So you get all these guys who are like, you could say, real Canadians, from like...
Hey, city folk are Canadians.
I know. But you know what I mean? Like, kind of the backbone of
They know how to
Canada.
take care of themselves.
Yeah. And they also know how to stick up for one another and stick up for other people.
I think it's that. Yeah. I mean, they're all there for a purpose, and that purpose is extremely positive.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that they're there for that purpose, they're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm against vaccine mandates, but yeah, I see someone getting pushed around there. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Especially
because since they're all there, they've probably got a pretty good team spirit going on, and with that amount of basically the group mentality, they can really go at it, just not as individuals but as teams. Yeah. I mean, I would be put it this way, I would be surprised if the crime rate stayed the same with all those guys. Yeah, definitely.
Again, predominantly males of pretty good stature. Yeah. And also males who come from a place in their culture or mind where they are really against bad guys, put it that way. Yeah. They're just like, and if they see someone being intimidated, or let alone, stuck with a knife or something, or held up with a knife. So I can imagine, as a criminal, like if I was a criminal, I'd be like, I'm a fuck out of here.
I think it's more of that. I don't even think that they have to do anything.
No. I think
just
their presence.
Yeah. The presence alone deters.
I can imagine thousands of people like that.
And they're not just there. They're all like, they're
clustered,
coherent. Yeah. You don't want them all looking at you. You've got an issue.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got nowhere to run because the truck is in the way.
Slam against the trunk.
Yeah.
So, how do I share this here?
I can switch that around. You want to share that screen there? Okay.
So, just want to show a couple things here. So in going through Twitter, the cesspool that Twitter is, came across some things. again, during this phase, the first sort of like few days that they were there was this silence. It seemed no one really knew what the heck was going on. And and then after the first few days, there started coming out all this vitriol.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, like, there was this thing about them stealing from homeless shelters.
I went through a lot of articles and a lot of videos. So from supporters of the movement and people obviously opposed to it. And yeah, there's definitely some running stories that they go with there. So one of the stories were that they harassed a soup kitchen there.
Yeah.
And apparently one of its patrons, or one of its the people that were trying to get food there, was assaulted. And the reasoning for this was that they were denied service because they didn't want to wear masks.
Okay.
So there's no evidence of this happening. There's just sort of accounts from the leadership of that establishment and some of the employees. So yeah, it's difficult to say whether it happened or not. At this point, I don't really think it matters that much when we're talking about the movement itself. Because obviously, I would say it probably happened. If there were...
It could have.
Yeah, it could have happened, and if it did, that's very unfortunate. But in every movement, especially to the scale of this one, in every demonstration, there are going to be bad apples. And you can see the mainstream media really latching on to the ones it finds. If you go to the CM tweets there, yeah, that one. So this is Candace Malcolm.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Right. So there are some examples of people's flying Nazi and Confederate flags during the demonstrations, and it's important to note here that most, if not like 99.9% of the people actually demonstrating, they don't support this. Like, people just flying straight up Nazi flags is not something you want to see anywhere. Period. And so this woman here is actually putting a bounty on these people, obviously not to dox them, as she I think in her latest tweet she's asking to not dox them, but just to let her know so they can handle it internally, which is the right way to do it, I think. But yeah, from looking at these, you see some swastikas and Nazi flags, and very few, maybe there's more than we can see from what's been recorded. But when someone sees that, I'm pretty sure that they are going to put that on social media very quickly if they see a swastika in there. And seeing how few there are that I can find, I scoured Google looking for examples of this, and most of the examples are what she's posted here.
It's this one guy, and
it's that one guy, yeah. And there was also a smaller group, sort of walking through one of the parks, it looks like, and one of them had a swastika
I think
flag.
It was the same guy.
I don't think so. They looked quite different. And this guy, he's not masked. The guy was, but in any case, I think that potentially this is just a theory of mine, but from also seeing some of the other flags that they're flying, some of them are not just straight up Nazi flags like this one, and some of them, they just have swastikas on them. But I don't think it's necessarily in support of Nazis.
That's what I was just going to say.
I think it's more comparing
dictatorship, tyranny,
exactly. And
fascism.
you know, you can debate on whether that is a good comparison to make, but that being a bad comparison does not equate someone being a Nazi at all,
or promoting it.
Exactly.
Right. And that's actually something, I think it was actually in this thread that someone said that they had spoken with the guy, and he had said that the swastika flag here was, so there's two flags here, Okay, it's actually a double flag. The top flag says F Trudeau, fuck
Yep.
Trudeau, and then there's a second flag on the same flagpole. So it's
Is
two
this the same
flags.
guy
This
that was
is
in
this guy.
Is it that? Okay.
Yep, this is the same. Oops, I'm opening it again. This is this guy. You can see his hat. He's got like the flap that goes up.
Why does he even have that? Why the fuck does he have that?
This
There's the other
is
one.
And this is the same flag. You can see it's
It
a
is,
double
yeah,
flag.
yeah. Ah, you can see even him.
Yeah.
The mate
he's
who's
here.
with him. See, this is the second F Trudeau flag.
Correct.
So it must be the same one.
It is, and someone said that they spoke to him and that he said that the bottom flag was in reference to the top.
Oh, essentially saying that Trudeau's a Nazi.
Yes.
Okay. So he can say that, and it might be a bit of
It's a bit stupid.
It's a bit fucking stupid. And also at the same time, if you're gonna have a swastika on a flag, please, for the love of God, put a line through it.
Correct.
Put a line through it.
See, if he had just done that,
I don't say you should put a swastika on a flag and do this with it, even if there's a line through it. But if you're gonna,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that's a bit. But man, I'll tell you what. Then there was the guy with the. I don't know if you saw that. The guy with the Confederate flag.
Yeah, I saw one image of that. I don't
Right.
know if.
Well, I saw the video of him.
Oh, okay.
He's walking through the crowd, and he's got this. Maybe it's a ski mask, but it's like all you can see is his two eyes and his little hole for the mouth.
Uh-huh.
And he's walking through with this Confederate flag, and the crowd, like the trucker convoy people, are giving him hell for it, and finally like, get out of here. And
Could you find that video?
I could if I searched. See, Convoy, Confederate flag. My fingers don't work. Oh, I think this was it.
That's the image I saw, but I didn't see the video.
Maybe there's under videos. It was going around on Twitter as well.
Funny how hard these are to find.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the image there. This guy, and his face was completely undistinguishable. You couldn't see it. So that's interesting. So that's People's World. Never heard of that. Whatever.
It is People's World.
Yes. But that's what they show. So they show a guy with a Confederate flag with a trucker, with a truck on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing that should be clear is that there's not many Canadians who even know what the hell a Confederate flag is.
That's the thing. The Confederate flag has absolutely nothing to do with Canada.
No. So
this guy is just. It's the same question again. Why do you have that? Okay, that just looks like
that looks really bad. God. Dude, work on the hat. What is it supposed to say?
Canada first.
Oh, okay. Oh no, don't save it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Let's open it. Tab.
Hey, man, whatever floats your boat.
Jeez, dude.
Oh my God.
Optics.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So,
Wow.
yeah, Confederate flag, blah blah blah, swastikas, brilliant.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing some of this stuff going on, and then I saw this tweet among other tweets that sounded like, wow, that's wild.
Yep.
And this lady says, the protesters called my mother a 70-year-old retired nurse. They called her a cunt. They told me to get raped. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I had a cigarette thrown in my face. Hashtag Freedom Convoy is hot garbage. One thing that I kind of thought of when I read this is, okay, someone calling you a cunt, that's not nice. Like, that's super rude and impolite. However, yeah, it's kind of like, okay, was that just random? Like someone just called you that? Like you didn't do anything. You didn't say anything at them. You didn't call
Mm-hmm.
them something. You didn't say to them, I don't know, get injected, you loony, or something. Like whatever. And the next thing,
Yeah.
when she says they told me to get raped, I thought, I don't think people actually say that. I don't think someone actually would say, yo, get raped. I think what they might say is, yo, get fucked. And
Ah.
and what
Yeah.
she's doing there is,
Yeah. What's context
it's
again?
like, so, and a cigarette thrown to the face. Hey,
So
that's not
like
cool either.
it could be that exactly what she's saying happened, but it could just as well be that she's at best twisting words and at worst completely lying.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well-
what did she say in the video?
Oh,
Well, I'm going home for the day. Just dropped off my mom. And we had some chance to catch up. I heard about all the disgusting names that people called her, shared some of the disgusting things that were said to me. So congratulations to the Freedom Convoy for calling a 70-year-old woman a cunt. You're really special. So special.
Okay.
Well,
so that's, yeah, her mom told her that someone said that to her.
Right.
Called her that. So then I looked down at some of the comments, and now it's too late. So now someone was saying something like, "Oh, I'm sure that was just out of the blue."
You better zoom in a bit so that people
I?
can...
Wrong way.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, someone was replying that it sounded really like it wasn't something out of the blue, and she replied with a video. Now I'm not going to be able to find it.
At the top there should be show replies. These are just showing related.
Ah, is it?
If you scroll down, yeah, there, show replies.
Oh, here.
Show more replies.
I don't know. What did you... here. What did you yell first? Or were you and mommy just standing there trying to make friends like mother like daughter?
Yeah, it is very suspect that they were apparently both told off.
Yeah, and you'll see why. Oh, it's gone. Oh my god.
Wait, was it deleted?
Maybe.
They were jumping in front of cars like psychopaths. Don't know where they got that from, but... Yeah, that seems like
kidding
something
me?
you would yell get fucked for.
Yeah. No, I can't believe this.
What was written there?
Oh. Oh, this is
Look what Justin there. Look what he wrote.
Who?
A little bit further down, Justin Trudeau.
Oh, was that?
He said something very similar in that tweet there to what he said in the press conference. If I remember correctly, he said the truckers are blockading the economy, democracy, and citizens' daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, if you could give an award for irony, that would be
Yeah. Yeah.
gold medal right there.
Okay. She must have taken it down. So that's her and her mum.
If you just go to her tweets, what has she been tweeting? Not that we're trying to do a background check on Miss LeClaire. Activist and agitator.
Ooh. Good catch. Look at that. Fundraiser and feminist. Activist and agitator. Well. I can't believe it. I think she took it down. So. All right.
I mean, if someone's calling themselves an agitator and then getting agitated, I don't know. Like, what she says happened may have happened, but like her word doesn't mean much to me.
Okay, so let me try and remember this. It was a few days ago that I saw the reply. So essentially, someone was sort of making the comment like that. I think it was actually that one. You know, like, oh yeah, you two were just standing on the side of the road, you
Yeah.
know, being nice people. And then she said, my, oh man, I'm not gonna remember. She said something like, my mother just had a sign saying this, and then posted a video of them
Mm.
on the side of the road talking to someone in a silver car. And it was obviously a bit of a heated exchange.
Mm.
And for a moment, you see her mother turn around. They both had plackets in their hands. So they were both like protesting the protesters. And so it's not like they were just, you know, walking along minding their own business either. And her mother turns around to walk back to the sidewalk from the car person thing, with the sign. And for a moment, you see actually what's written on the sign.
Yeah.
And I can't remember verbatim what it was saying, but I can tell you it was very provocative.
Okay.
It was very provocative at people who were non-injected. So for me, but it wasn't. It's not like I would look at that sign and say, "Oh yeah, that's why you would call someone these things and say those things." But the fact that she, in the Twitter reply, lied about what her mother was holding.
Yeah.
That to me was like, and in a way that doesn't surprise me that she took it down, because maybe someone called her out on it and was like, excuse you, like that's, you know, you're asking for it, you know. Still, I'm absolutely, like, I would never use that language at someone and so on. But on the other hand, okay, what is it? Activist and agitator. Well, hello. If you're going around trying to agitate people, don't be too surprised when they tell you to get fucked or something.
Bottom line is, this situation that she's saying here is, it's very little to hold it with much relevancy.
Yep.
It's just one of those things. Like, if you're gonna take the less than 1% of people that call themselves part of the convoy or part of the protest that are actually doing genuinely negative things, there are always some. Like, how are you gonna identify the entire protest by those people?
Yeah.
It's like, even for the best of causes, like women's rights or like any great cause that people actually demonstrate for, like, there's gonna be people doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
But in those, they never identify the whole crowd by that, because that's just stupid.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I even tweeted out a couple days ago, something along the lines of that this is pure tribalism, what we're seeing. Because to this woman who we just pulled up before, and to so many of these other people, if it was BLM right now in front of Parliament House, you know, pitching tents or doing whatever the heck, these same people would be, and the majority of politics would be finding every possible way to support them.
Yeah.
And the reason why these people and the majority of politics and the mainstream media are not supporting of the convoy, the truckers' convoy, is because it simply just isn't their tribe, period.
No, that's true.
So,
which is just classic.
Yeah. So here's something nice, though. Are we sharing the screen?
No.
So this is another tweet. This is pretty cool, I thought. So this is something else that's happening outside of Ottawa, on the border, actually. It says, first it was truckers, then along came the farmers, and then along came the cowboys. And they are now blocking the US-Canada border. So this is another thing that's happening. I think there's one main border, one of the main arteries between Canada and the United States, which is completely blocked off. I don't know if they're still blocked off today, but this is what it looked like not too long ago. When is this from? 6th of February.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. It's crazy music. So this is
Wow.
the Fringe. Fringe. I mean, the other thing about this is people can look at this and say, yeah, but you know how many vehicles are in Canada? Like, this is a tiny percent, right?
Which is true.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But if you've ever been part of a demonstration anywhere, you know that it's like a representational, how do you say, sample of the
Right.
actual sentiment in the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the fact that you can get this many people in the middle of winter.
And it's not just truckers. You can.
No, that's what they said. The farmers joined in, the cowboys joined in. The fact that you can get this kind of thing happening in the middle of winter there is...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. And
So-
this is just showing a portion.
Yeah. There's another
Small
border
portion.
as well where this kind of thing is also
I don't even
happening.
see many trucks there, honestly.
Yeah. And I believe this is the other one. This is kind of cool. It shows the cowboys. That's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. Oh, that's what. Wow.
That was pretty wild. See that again. Look at that. It's quite a lot, eh?
Damn.
Getting all Canadian, eh? Look,
About to shoot a western.
he's got a hockey.
He got a hockey stick.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's not bad, eh? And you can see the traffic's all the way over here.
Yeah, yeah. That looks like a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah,
Crazy.
just a couple cool clips. So another aspect of this whole thing is the funding, which was
Right, yeah. It was on GoFundMe.
correct. It was on
Reached
GoFundMe.
around $10 million
Right,
US
it was
dollars.
just about 9 million.
And they suspended that, and now they've taken it down. GoFundMe's taken it down because of a breach of terms of service, specifically because of violence.
This is what they actually stated. This
They
part.
they said violence and unlawful activity, which again is obviously it's just not the majority doing it, not even close.
It's not even a minor. I mean, it's
If that thing in the soup kitchen really happened, how are you gonna shut down a GoFundMe with 10 million US dollars because one,
bad actor, basically.
or even if it was 10 bad
Yeah.
actors, like it's just that's not grounds.
And the thing is, with the thing that happened at the soup kitchen, if there was an actual, like they said, there was an assault.
Right,
Okay, if an assault happens, you call the police.
right.
So right away, my mind goes to, was it actually an assault? Because if it was an assault, the police should have been called, and then you would have had it all over the media, and it would have been an actual, like, there's a case involved, there's an investigation ongoing, whatever.
Potentially, or a lot of the time if it's like a minor assault, you're not even going to get the police involved.
But that's the thing. It's like,
If it's someone just getting pushed to the side, like I can't imagine that this person was actually like seriously injured. You would have seen more of that, and someone would have taken a picture
or video.
or video, or at least a picture. So it was probably just someone getting shoved to the side at best.
Yeah, or yelled at.
We can't really say for sure, but
No,
again, this isn't grounds for this happening.
But
So
what's also interesting here is that they say, so the full thing is we have now evidence from law enforcement. So they have evidence from law enforcement that the previously peaceful demonstration, previously, so up until now it's been peaceful, has become an occupation.
yeah,
With police reports of violence and other unlawful activity.
how do you define occupation in a way that holds up in court? They're just there.
Yeah. there are legal terms for occupation, but I'm pretty sure those don't apply because otherwise,
Yeah.
ipso facto, you would have had a lawful
Otherwise, the people
reaction.
occupying would be being arrested.
Or, this is the thing why I pull out the occupation thing here, is that GoFundMe was called into the spotlight by no other than what's his name? Now I'm forgetting his name. Elon Musk, for having funded
Yeah.
an actual occupation known as the Chop or Chaz.
Elon Musk funded that?
No,
Or
GoFundMe. There was a GoFundMe on. There was a fundraiser on GoFundMe for the Chop Chaz,
Yeah.
which was an actual occupation of of an area of a city. So here it says Tesla founder Elon Musk slammed GoFundMe for hypocrisy after the fundraising site cut ties with a convoy of Canadian truckers. He says double standard ? Quipped Musk on Twitter while sharing a screenshot of a June 2020 tweet from GoFundMe posted in support of Seattle's lawless CHOP, or the Capitol Hill occupied protest, and quote-unquote autonomous zone where the riots broke out and police were not permitted to enter.
Professional thieves.
Call them professional thieves. That's why I bring up this occupation thing, and a lot of people were tweeting about this and pretty incensed that GoFundMe would do a full 180 on something that they themselves.
The other one was going in the other direction, though.
Correct. Tribal. Again, it's like if it's your tribe, it's okay.
So they raised over $10 million for this. I'm sure you've heard of the lawsuit. That was
I didn't hear much about it though.
Right. So there was a lawsuit filed against the demonstrators as a whole, based off of the noise that they were making with their horns.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Right. So, based off of that lawsuit, the usage of horns was lawfully restricted.
Correct.
In Ottawa. So now it's illegal for the next 10 days for anyone to use their horn.
Yeah.
Which is, as far as I can tell, they're largely complying with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's going bang once in a while.
Now they're banging. Now they're doing two things. They're revving their engines. So that's what they're doing now. And when you have...
Takes more fuel, unfortunately.
It does. But so they don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
But they weren't doing the horns all the time either.
Yeah.
But when you have 100, let alone 1,000 trucks all backed up against each other, all revving their engines at the same time, I don't know what's worse, the noise of that or horns. But
yeah, I mean, to be clear, I do sympathize with residents of Ottawa, because having horns blaring all the time, especially from trucks, which aren't your regular horn, right? Like, that can't be fun, and they certainly didn't deserve that. So one of the main, I think if you go to lawsuit, which is the first bookmark there, on the far left. Far
that
left.
one?
No, far left.
I just saw Twitter.
A woman by the name of Zexi Lee filed the lawsuit. And I can, thank you. So I can understand that sentiment, that it's unfairly affecting the Ottawa citizens. Mm-hmm. So I can
Sympathize.
I can sympathize with that. But at the same time, the lawsuit was filed for $9.8 million, which is, I don't believe that number is a coincidence. I think the GoFundMe was at $9.8 million when that lawsuit was filed. So essentially,
Could have been.
I wouldn't say it's a money grab, but
Interesting.
it would have been enough to just say no more horns. They also want to take the funding. So yeah, but now with their new new funding platform. What's that one called? I believe
Give,
you have
Send,
it.
Go.
Give, Send, Go.
That,
Yeah. What are they up to? 8 million something now.
Over 8. Yeah.
$8,200,000, which is crazy.
Yeah.
They've actually almost reached what they had from GoFundMe. And apparently GoFundMe is refunding all of the donations that were sent in.
So that's another interesting part of this is that initially GoFundMe said that, I think it's here to, oh no, this is what later came.
The refund will happen automatically.
This is what they initially, let me blow this up a bit. Oh, wrong way. No further funds will be directly distributed to the Freedom Convoy organizers. We will work with the organizers to send all remaining funds to credible and established charities chosen by Freedom Convoy 2022 organizers and verified by GoFundMe. So then they had another another part under that. I don't know why it's not here. I think it was a second second tweet.
It was there in the screenshot a little further down. Yeah.
No, this is their follow-up.
Yeah.
This is their follow-up, but to this initial part, they said that if any of the donors want their refund, they had to use a specific form that was made especially for this. They would have to submit it, and they had like a 2-week window or so till, and then you couldn't get your money back essentially. And there was such a hissy fit thrown online. Yeah. I mean, people were just outraged. You can't do that. I mean, the vast majority of people who have donated aren't even going to see that message. Right. So you're essentially just going to grab their money and give it to your verified charities. Yeah. And that's why a couple days later, like literally 24 to 48 hours later, they changed it to saying they're just refunding everyone. Yeah. Because also the other thing that started spreading was this idea of calling your card company or your bank and issuing a fail of service delivered refund. Yeah. But every single one of those costs GoFundMe $35. So that started trending, and I think that
they definitely don't want that.
Yeah. So that's what happened there as well. So they're refunding all the donors, and then the trucker convoy went over to givesendgo.com, and as you can see, they're over $8 million so far. And I took a screenshot 12 hours with an interval of 12 hours, and in those 12 hours they had raised $1 million. Wow. Yeah. So that's,
And there's also a crypto donation thing going on. I believe it's around it's over $500,000 at this point, but yeah.
And there's also this.
There's that. Trucker. That's the first one I ran into. Adopt a trucker. Yeah.
That's great. And so that's already over $500,000 as well.
Yeah. So if you put those together, they're basically at the 10 mil again. Yeah. With the crypto and with this. So although these are Canadian dollars.
Well, these are Canadian. The other one was US.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think what they're doing is quite an interesting thing.
Yeah. I think by and large what they're doing is good. Obviously there are some negative aspects to demonstrating, as there always are. It's just in general you're affecting some people negatively that don't deserve to be treated like that, and not directly negatively. It's just by nature of what's going on. Yeah. But at the same time, the demonstration as a total, what it's actually done positively, the amount of a spotlight that it's garnered, especially internationally, is quite impressive, and it's quite positive. Yeah. So I think that it's a small price to pay. As as someone not actually having to experience what it's like living in
Yeah.
Ottawa right now, which
Yeah.
is surely not a great situation to be in. But yeah, I do think that at the end of the day, it's going to be a net positive.
Yeah. I just want to say something again to the whole bad actor thing. Like, I've spent hours and hours over the last few days watching live streams.
Yeah.
Like, not glued to it, but I'm usually, doing something else. And then at the same time, I've got it sitting there on another device, just streaming. And if it was the case that, Confederate flags or Nazi flags or, weird things going on, if that stuff was, I wouldn't even say prevalent, but even just happening.
Yeah.
I haven't, like, this is not hyperbolic. I have not seen a single thing happen on a live stream that was untoward.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you get some guys who are a little bit too eager or something, and they're just sort of like, yeah, you, at things like this, you attract a whole lot of different characters, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But anything untoward, anything other than, I mean, it's at some point it's almost a little cringe for me, because the Canadians, man, they love to talk about love and hope and unity and all these things, and I'm sitting there like, wow. You guys are like full on, like,
Yeah.
but in that
Good on
direction,
them.
not,
Yeah.
Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
Goose, duck, whatever. Honk. So, yeah, I think more power to them. And I've seen some of the responses from Justin Trudeau and from his side of politics, and it's been nauseating.
It's really difficult to watch him talk.
It's really difficult.
Yeah, it really is. Jordan Peterson, not a direct quote, but he essentially said he doesn't believe Justin Trudeau capable of a true word.
Huh.
And I swear, when you watch him, this is just my interpretation, but watching him talk at these press conferences, he does not, like, he doesn't have the mimicry, what do you say, of someone who's being genuine.
Of someone who's being
like
genuine.
he doesn't feel genuine when he speaks.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just saw a clip of him today in Parliament. Oh, that was another thing that happened. This old guy gets like so sad. And this happened because he honked.
I mean, he looks like he's resisting there a bit, but honestly, if you're honking and getting arrested for just a honk, like, that's ridiculous.
It doesn't show the beginning. In the beginning, he's standing there.
What are you doing? Hey!
In the beginning, this doesn't go fully back in the video. I saw the fuller video. He's shuffling through his wallet. The guy walks up to the side and says, "You don't need to be showing him your ID." And then you can see there as he just starts to walk away, and the police grabs him. Yeah. But apparently this is also in court now. He has a lawyer and it's taken to court. But yeah, I just watched a clip of Trudeau.
If you just go on YouTube, or I can... ZooTube. And you just put in like Trudeau Convoy, and the first thing is going to be that conference.
Trudeau crying. What happened to the one?
It's full speech, because if you go back to the previous page. From CTV News.
This one?
Yeah. That one starts off.
Our economy?
if you could start from the
Our
beginning.
democracy are trying to blockade our economy, our democracy, and our fellow citizens' daily lives. It has to stop.
Like, not only is that super ironic, because the mandates that he's put into power are exactly doing what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but just look at him. This is
does he
taking a little
actually-
bit, but I've watched like this entire this is just the speech, but I've also watched a little bit of what the opposition was saying,
Yeah.
asking him direct questions, and I swear the only things that he's capable of saying are, look at how much Canadians have stuck together, are good Canadians. It's like he's buttering them up, mate. There's not a genuine point that he's making. He's constantly just saying, oh, how great Canada is, and anyone who is part of this movement is essentially not Canadian. Which is just, yeah.
I mean, I wonder, just looking at the guy, if he even believes what he's saying.
I don't think so.
I don't think so
I
either.
don't think he actually believes it, because otherwise he would look more sincere.
That's the thing. So this is the opposition.
Thank the Prime Minister for participating and being part of this debate. I look at our country, Mr. Speaker, and I've never seen it as divided as it is now under this Prime Minister, whether it's regional lines, whether it's ethnic lines, whether it's people's healthcare choices. This country is more divided than ever, and the Prime Minister talks about things like respecting each other, and we are not fighting against each other, we are fighting a virus. And I have two very simple questions for him. When he decided to introduce the vaccine mandate, he believed it was the right thing to do. Does he regret calling people names who didn't take the vaccine? Does he regret calling people misogynist and racist and just escalating and poking sticks at them and being so divisive to individual Canadians that he might not disagree with, that he might have thought were wrong? Does he regret that? And will he agree to meet with the leaders here, the other opposition leaders, and myself, so that we can talk about a solution in the way that he's described? Mr. Speaker, we are in uncharted territory. We are at a crisis point, not only with what's...
Okay, so she's asked a specific question there. Essentially, does he agree with the statements he made, which were quite, I wouldn't say necessarily divisive, but they were insightful of tribalism.
Yeah.
It definitely made the
Othering,
situation worse.
Right? Othering.
Yes. And so this was his response to that.
People watching expect me to disagree with the leader of the official opposition. I just didn't think it would be about something so fundamental. She is telling people tonight that Canada has never been so divided, never been so angry, one region against another. And I disagree. What we have seen over these past 2 years has been Canadians stepping up for each other in extraordinary ways. Canada has one of the highest vaccination rates of our peer countries around the world. Why?
So this is going back to something you said at the beginning, right? Regarding this belittling of the convoy, and on the basis of the vaccine rates, right? And here he's using again the vaccine rates to ipso facto come to a conclusion on the unity of the country, when in fact probably half, if not more, of those people who have been injected did so not from free will.
Even if they did, it doesn't mean that the people that are demonstrating now aren't actually part of the people that he's saying here. He's saying the Canadians that held together and they stuck together. Like, even if the majority of the people in that convoy believe that vaccines are a good thing for people to have, they're not demonstrating against vaccines.
No.
They're demonstrating against mandates.
Yeah. But it seems to me like this guy is... remember in our first episode, we talked about sense-making, and part of that was not falling into logical fallacies.
Right.
And to me, what he's doing is completely just sinking into this abyss of completely logically fallacious thought.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you...
And I don't think he believes that. He's selling it. He might believe it partially. But I don't think that Justin Trudeau is a stupid person.
Stupid is a gradient, isn't it? It's like, I don't know.
I don't think he's dumb.
I think to a large degree he is quite... I don't know if it's unintelligent, but either he's in an echo chamber, like an insane echo chamber, that basically all the information that he's getting is doing exactly its job by, letting him stay. I mean, the way in which he is communicating this, you have to say, is with conviction. I mean, he's...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a good speaker.
And an actor. Good actor.
Well, not as good as he should probably be for what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's convincing some people, but
that he is thinking that, without trying to read into him whether or not he believes what he's saying, if we take him at face value in what he's saying, what he is doing is saying 90% of the population in this country are injected with this substance, therefore 90% of the population are in unison over the mandates.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That to me is the
it's simply not
hole.
true.
Yeah, but the fact that he's saying this to me shows that to me it says that he is in an insane echo chamber.
Yeah,
that's all he hears.
And again, how he answers this, and by the way, spoiler alert, he doesn't actually answer the question at all. Shocker. But he goes again into saying how great that everyone in Canada has been doing during the pandemic, and that the people demonstrating are not part of those people.
Right.
Why? And it's not because Canadians love getting needles. It's because Canadians trust science.
You hear his fellow mates
They're
back
laughing.
here. Look at this guy. This guy's cackling behind his face diaper.
Canadians trust each other to do the right things. It's in our national psyche of being able...
The ironic thing here, too, is so much of the stuff that you hear these people say can be turned around right back at them.
It is, yeah.
It's like, here, what did he just say? Canadians
each other
know...
to do the right thing. Science? Canadians trust each other to do the right things.
So Canadians trust each other to do the right things. How does that apply to your injection, Mr. Prime Minister, but it does not apply to anything else? How does it not apply to the convoy?
And if they trusted each other to do the right thing, you wouldn't need any mandate.
Correct. So what's the mandate for, Mr.
You wouldn't
Prime
need
Minister,
any laws regarding any of the restrictions.
Yep. That's one of the things that came up a few times here in Switzerland as well with the mandates, is that the task force and so on, they were saying, well, even if we don't mandate it, most people would still be wearing the mask, for example. And then I was scratching my head as well as other people, and we were like, so why do you need the mandate then?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
in our national psyche of being able to be there for our neighbors, being able to push...
And the convoy is not there for their neighbors, obviously.
No.
Push a car out of a snowbank for a perfect...
Or shovel the snow in a city that's not yours.
Listen to what he says here. If this isn't buttery, I don't know what is.
stranger, leaning on each other. These are the things that define Canadians. And what we saw through these past 2 years It's people stepping up for our frontline health workers, stepping up for our grocery store clerks, leaning on each other, supporting our seniors, supporting our young people getting there, stepping up to do what they could around the house to help out while they're all locked down. This is a story of a country that got...
Anyone have some bread for this?
No,
Fucking-
it's just butter. We just got lots and lots of butter.
It's probably margarine.
This is political theater. That's what that is.
100%.
Political theater.
So any question that they ask him, he's just going to answer with, Canadians are the best except for the ones who are opposing
Yeah.
mandates.
Yeah.
You can't ask, there's no debate there.
And taking him at face value, you would have to assume that this guy is incredibly dim-witted. I mean, he's so dim.
From what he puts out, yeah.
because-
but I don't think that what he puts out is essentially what's going on in his head.
I don't know. I don't put it past him, honestly.
I mean, that's just up to interpretation
I
at the
know,
end of the day,
yeah.
right? Like, we can't say what's going on in his head, but
No, absolutely not. If anything. For all you know, he just pulls back his skin and he's a lizard person underneath.
no, he's not Mark. Well, all the best of luck to the truckers, and
Yeah, I
do
think so.
think that if they're going for the time game, they'll win. Because this is terrible optics.
Yeah. For these guys.
Yeah,
I mean, for
yeah.
the prime minister and his crew. I think if the truckers can hold out. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention is I've been following the press releases, the press conferences that the organizers have been holding.
Yeah.
So far, I've only seen two main ones that they've had, and the last one went on for about half an hour, and I just watching that. I really felt like the main gist of everything that they're saying is they are completely perplexed as to why not a single person in government in Canada has come and sat down at a table with them and talked with them and gone over the stuff and tried to negotiate and all this kind of stuff. They keep making calls for politicians to come and sit with them, people who can actually affect change.
That's what this lady asked him in this press
Why
conference.
don't you sit down with them? And yeah. And
No.
yeah.
No.
And that's the thing for me, is like, if you are really in a democracy and you've got, I mean, look, I say it's obvious, but to this guy, Justin Trudeau, I don't know what is and isn't obvious to him, but anyone with two firing brain cells can look at this situation and know that it is not some fringe minority that can just be swept under the rug. There are hundreds of thousands of people across Canada who are supporting what's going on there. At least, probably millions, actually.
Yeah.
And now there's talk as well from the United States of a American convoy heading to DC, heading to Washington, D.C.
Right. There's international movements going on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen much news about that at all. They're probably far smaller, and the main one is the convoy.
The convoy.
Yeah.
But apparently this Washington, D.C. one is going there with a specific aim to get there in time for President Joe Biden's speech or something. I don't know if he's doing some kind of State of the Union address or something. So here in Switzerland, when was it? On Monday, we had a Switzerland convoy going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was there. Well, I was in Bern. So all these convoys were supposed to meet in Bern. The plan was to get to the Bundesplatz, the Parliament building. It's too easy here in Bern for the police. I mean, it's a small place. There's only like 4
Don't have that many
tiny
lanes.
roads. Yeah. So everything was closed off, and nothing was coming close to the Parliament building. couple of hundred vehicles got into Bern, and were basically making like eights and so on around Bern, honking, and yeah, it was kind of crazy, but it was definitely nothing like nothing even close to what was going on in Canada. So yeah.
Well, best of luck to them.
I reckon.
From my side. Yeah, we'll see how that develops.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a little update on a upcoming episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also wanted to talk about Mr. Rogan, Mr. Joe Rogan.
Unfortunately, it seems we
have reached our 2-hour mark, but we did start a little late, and I feel we can talk a little bit about Joe. Why not?
Okay.
Let's
do it.
Yeah, so essentially what the deal with him was, initially he was getting flack for his conversations on his podcast, right? The Joe Rogan Experience. And Spotify was getting pressured because of them hosting his podcasts and essentially enabling his extremely damaging content. So what's happened now is that a lot of his episodes on Spotify have been removed.
Over 100 apparently.
So it become over 100 now. So I couldn't tell why they were removed.
Okay, so as far as I know, the initial controversy began when Mr. Joe Rogan had he had a couple people on his podcast recently. One was Dr. Peter McCullough, and then he had, I think it was after that, excuse me, Dr. Malone.
Yep.
And that's when the shit started to fly. I don't remember which one was I think it was Peter McCullough first, and then it was Dr. Malone. And Dr. Malone had been kicked off Twitter.
Yep.
Very just before that. Before he went on the Joe Rogan podcast.
I watched that episode. Yeah.
And so it was kind of like he was kicked off Twitter. Then he shows up on Joe Rogan. And I was kind of wondering if people on Twitter, I can imagine, because Dr. Malone is either the inventor or a co-inventor of the mRNA technology.
I think he's the inventor.
I think so too, but I'm being cautious. Of the mRNA technology that is used in these COVID-19 injections. And I can imagine him tweeting, right, this whole thing about #FollowTheScience. Okay, here you got the inventor of this tech. And he's injected, by the way. He's double injected, Moderna. There's a whole story. You can watch the podcast on Joe Rogan Experience on Spotify if you want, if it's still there. So you can imagine him tweeting stuff, skeptical of the injections and so on, and then the Twitter mob comes after him and starts reporting his tweets, right? And you can imagine all these reports coming in, the red lights in the Twitter headquarters start flashing, and then comes the sack, right? Where they just say, okay, off with your head. You're off Twitter. And then this Twitter mob successfully having, this is speculation, but Twitter does kind of work like this. Suddenly this guy you just got off Twitter, dunzo, he's on the #1 most popular podcast in the world on Spotify. Spotify, by the way, which is a very, very popular platform. So that must have felt like, I don't know, like a kick in the gut to those people.
Hey, that's how it works.
I mean, that's not a win.
No.
You know. So he's on there. Then I think what probably happened is, because up until then, there wasn't any fuss about Joe Rogan having had Peter McCullough on.
Yeah. And as far as I know, actually, from the episodes that were removed, Robert Malone's one wasn't one of them.
Correct.
So there's... that's what perplexes me.
So
which ones were removed and why?
Right. So there was a lot of kind of people wondering, is Spotify deleting these episodes or is Joe Rogan removing them?
Right.
And apparently, these episodes had nothing to do with COVID-19. Apparently the reason why they were pulled is because of the N-word.
Are these old ones?
Some of them are.
Some of them are
fairly
older,
old.
right? Yeah. So there was specifically, so what the situation refers to, especially the one that's been blowing up mostly, was Joe Rogan was talking about his experience watching the film Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And he apparently he went to a theater which was largely located in a black area. And what he said was, non-verbatim, it felt like he was in the Planet of the Apes. Which is obviously, it's not a good thing to say. I would call that a racist statement, even though I don't think that Joe Rogan himself is racist. Mm-hmm. And it's worth mentioning that this took place a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And there were also some separate occasions where he did say the N-word on his podcast. So I agree that, okay, him saying that is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think he should have said that. I don't think he should be thinking that. But, you know, whatever goes on in his head is his own business. Mm-hmm. First off, I don't think that that's grounds for him getting canceled.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's ridiculous. When it comes down to him using the N-word, he posted an apology. I think it was on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
He posted an apology, essentially saying that a lot of the clips where he was saying the N-word was taken out of context, and at the time he thought it was okay to say the N-word as long as it was in the context of in an appropriate context. But he's since come to the realization that he should never say it. So I mean, if people are interested, they can find this clip pretty easily of him of his apology there. When it came down to his Planet of the Apes thing, I don't think there is a context there. I think he just flat out said something really stupid. When it comes down to him saying the N-word, yeah, I think it's also kind of stupid for him to have said that, especially on the podcast. But again, those are old clips. According to him, he's not said the N-word for years. And it is funny how these things that happened years ago are brought up now. And I don't think it is in any small part
coincidental.
It's certainly connected to the whole controversy with him and the COVID-19 content that he has had on his channel. So you want to show something there?
Oh no, I was just going through a couple things here, but so apparently that's
okay.
So he is said to have removed 113 episodes.
Yeah. Were those all episodes where he said the N-word?
I don't know.
I can't imagine that is the reason. So I mean, at this point, it seems like no one really has the answer to the question of did he remove them or did Spotify remove them?
I guess he removed them, but it was more probably under duress. Like, obviously, it wasn't just him, like, you know, because otherwise he would have done it before.
Well, it depends. Yeah, perhaps.
So here it says, he goes on to say Spotify spoke with Rogan and his team about, quote, some of the content in his show, including his story of using some racially insensitive language. His history of using some racially insensitive language. Following these chats and his own reflection,
Okay.
he chose to remove a number of episodes from Spotify.
So it's not necessarily him saying the N-word in each one of those things. It's just sort of quote unquote insensitive language. Okay.
Well, probably at some point someone's gonna go and rake through those episodes and try to suss out what.
It could be perhaps that he didn't want to be bothered with going through each one of those episodes, and he just saw it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do think he should do is have all those episodes put on Rumble or something, just for posterity. I mean,
probably he's not
part of
allowed to do that with his contract with
maybe.
Spotify.
True.
I think they have an exclusivity deal.
Okay.
Otherwise, he would still be putting them on YouTube. I would expect there would be no point in not doing that. Yeah, but Spotify's position on it has been pretty much they don't believe that taking Joe Rogan off of their platform, they don't believe in doing that.
Yeah.
In silencing him in that way, despite a lot of the executives not being in favor of what he's saying there.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's whether it comes from a business standpoint or from an ethical standpoint, I do think that that is the right position to take.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
he can say things that you don't agree with, but he should be able to say them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't remember exactly verbatim. I read the statement from Spotify, and it was something to the effect of that they are not responsible for the content of people on Spotify. Something to that effect, like they're not publishers or something like that. Yeah, it's one of those things where the slippery slope questions come into play. You know, it's like, okay, today it's that, tomorrow it's something else. Like, at what point do you just say every individual is responsible for what they say and do, they and them themselves, not the platform that it's hosted on?
Right.
That's, but I don't know. I guess Spotify is trying to find some sort of middle ground that they can navigate in.
I don't think that it's inconsequential that they paid a significant amount of money for that deal with him.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that would be a very bad business move on their part if they decided to take him off their platform.
Yeah.
So they're probably significantly motivated by that.
I heard someone say that it's possible, though, that Joe Rogan also doesn't have all the money already. It could be one of those contracts where essentially it's $100 million, but you get it paid out over time, and that essentially if you want to leave, you can leave, but then you have what you have from that chunk. There's a name for those kind of contracts, but
yeah.
So that might have also fed into Joe Rogan, for example, with Rumble offering.
You want to show this?
Yes, please. So this is Rumble, which is another streaming video platform. Officially on February the 7th offered Joe Rogan, "Dear Joe, we stand with you, your guests, and your legion of fans in desire for real conversation. So we'd like to offer you 100 million reasons to make the world a better place. How about you bring all your shows to Rumble, both old and new, with no censorship for $100 million over 4 years. This is our chance to save the world, and yes, this is totally legit. Sincerely, the CEO."
I love this wording.
It's
Yeah, well,
pretty cool.
so he's got options.
So he does have options. Apparently, he's turned this one down.
Well, it depends how his contract with Spotify works.
Yeah, but apparently he's turned this down for now.
Yeah.
Of course, the
I mean,
offer stands,
yeah.
right? So it's like,
he turned this down by not wanting to ruin his contract with Spotify.
I think he actually officially replied and I don't remember where it was, but I think somewhere it said that he actually replied and said thanks, but no thanks.
Okay. Yeah, well.
But hey, it's not like Rumble's gonna say, meh, okay, tomorrow if you want to come over, the deal is no longer standing.
Right.
You know.
So I don't think he's going anywhere.
No,
I don't see
think so.
Spotify letting him go unless something shifts significantly.
Yeah.
But from what I can see, this is probably going to blow over in a week or two. No one's going to care anymore. Unless something changes. But as it stands, it's pretty much like you wanted him gone and he's not going.
I guess we'll see how many more celebrities either threaten to pull their music or threaten to put music on. Remember there was some of those guys?
God.
There was even someone who was Serena told me about this. Someone was threatening to put someone else's music on unless they remove Joe Rogan. Like, yeah, well, censorship is real. Information wars are real. And this is something that...
Are you referencing someone with a deep voice there?
Who, Alex?
Yeah.
I know he's got Infowars.com, and so we're talking about Alex Jones here. But
we're not talking about him.
No, but that's what we're referring to here by Alex Jones. Infowars.com. I have to say, like, that URL is brilliant. Infowars.com. I mean, it's like, boom.
It's a pretty good name, but yes, what I meant there was Infowars are real. You're not talking about him there.
No, I'm saying information war is real. Yeah. That's what I know, but the term Infowars is
so synonymous with Alex Jones now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good insight or just dumb luck to get that name under his purview, so to speak. But yeah, anyway. So we wish Joe Rogan all the best. I like his content.
He's got really good content. Don't agree with everything he says, obviously.
I don't agree with everything anyone says.
No, but like a lot of the stuff that he says, I'm not in agreement with.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do think that his platform and the content he puts out is really, really good.
Yeah.
So I do hope that he continues to do that well, and I think he will.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think his style is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's very chill, very relaxed, very natural.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's got some really good guests on.
Yeah. Well, I
Maybe
guess
we can come up with some interesting guests in the future.
That is so, ladies and gentlemen. That is really a plan for the future. I've been trying to network with others, and the plan is to have some guests on to add to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try and push to get someone on the next episode to come and join us at least half of the way or so.
Yep.
And so really looking forward to that. And hey, if you guys haven't already, please share, like the button.
Like the button.
Like the
by
button.
Clicking it.
By clicking it. Click the like button.
Mm-hmm.
Honk it. Honk the like button. Yeah. Subscribe and share and like. Pass it on.
We're on virtually every platform at this point. We've made a presence on pretty much every platform. This is an ongoing process because it's just the two of us working on this whole project. Yeah. So we're still working towards updating everything and getting links everywhere. Working on the website. So
yeah,
in the coming weeks, we're going to get those rolled out. In the description, I've placed a couple of links to some of our socials. In the ending screen, you'll see the full list, and you can just search us up there. You should find us pretty quick.
Yeah.
Got pretty much every flavor.
Yeah, pretty much. So looking forward to next week, Thursday, same place, same time. And hopefully we'll have something else to taste. And oh, you can kill the share screen.
Correct.
We'll have
This wasn't
something else
actually
to
that bad.
Okay, well, I guess
it's an IPA, but like if you haven't had an IPA before, you should try it. Maybe you'll like the alcoholic version better.
maybe.
And next week we're having alcohol on, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna be trying some of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, this week we didn't do baby food. For the last 2 weeks, it's been in on social media that we're gonna be eating baby food, but this guy decided to scoff down a burger before he came, so that's not happening.
Inhale a burger. Oh, before we go, we have to do this.
Oh, do you want to show something?
Yeah. So this is just something I saw this week. This would be the joke of the week. Do we not have auto translate? No.
No, not here.
So basically, it's just, this is just so cringe. So here in Switzerland, Fastnacht, which is like a carnival, is just around the corner. So what people do at Fastnacht, like carnival in general, is they dress up. Yeah, and I just saw this. So Migros and Coop are two of the biggest chains. Actually, probably the two biggest chains, supermarket chains, grocery store chains in Switzerland, and the title here is saying that they're selling, quote, racist carnival costumes, and
Honestly, they're super racist.
I mean,
Like the Native American one is just ridiculous. Like, come on.
the subtitle there says racism is still today hierzulande. What's that? Hierzulande.
Like locally,
Applicable? Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, a local or applicable topic. This is shown by the latest racist assortment in some Swiss online stores. And this is what they have. They have, I mean, I don't know. Like,
there's nothing racist about this. Maybe it's a little bit stereotypical, but like, okay, in Fastnacht you're meant to dress up. It's like our Halloween essentially.
yeah.
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 Like, hello.
But I just...
Wait, is there? What's with the nose?
I don't know.
Whatever. What is it now? Really?
Oh, that's even on Galaxus. Migros' daughter company, Galaxus. You can buy this horribly racist costume.
Insensible.
I literally don't know, so I'm just laughing. I mean, how exactly dressing up as another culture is racist?
But this isn't an accurate representation of the other culture.
Yeah, but it's also not making fun of it. Like, that's I mean, it's not meant to be a museum, you know, like a museum exhibit.
Yeah, I think, what do they expect? Like, what... Like, are you not allowed to dress up in... I don't even know how to formulate that. It's just...
So,
Whatever,
like,
this is fine. This is fine.
would it be...
We're fine with this.
Okay. Yes. Would it be racist if you were dressing up like, in Lederhosen?
Extremely, yes.
Right. Why? I don't know.
Because it's appropriating a culture that isn't yours.
Right.
So you can't dress up anymore, actually.
Unless it's dressing up as your own people. Which is like, why would you do that?
You do that every day.
Yeah.
All right, from now on, you can only go to Halloween dressed as you always are.
As you always are.
Yeah.
Jeans, t-shirt, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't get it. We don't have any problems in the world, right? This This is
This is the main problem right now. Yeah. It's Fastnacht costumes.
anyway. This is our world, clown
Yep.
world.
Well done.
All right,
All right. Well, that's a wrap,
let's
isn't it?
close out of that.
Yeah, we don't need to see that anymore. All right. Well, thanks to everyone that watched.
Yep. It's been
That
a
was fun.
pleasure.
It was illuminating. And yeah, we'll be back next week if all goes well. If we're still alive. Same time, same day. And yeah, if you have any comments on this, please let us know on
Let us know.
any of our social medias, including
Yep.
YouTube. And
If you also have any interest in any topics, feel
Yeah.
free to write us in and say, hey, what about this? Or if there's anything you saw us discuss here which was untrue, you can fact check us.
yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
Any feedback is welcome.
All right.
All right. Well,
Take care.
thanks everyone for watching. And until next week.
Yep. Ciao.